What is happening, everybody? Trey here, and today, reactions to the classics. We got a top 10 Joni Mitchell list from 1968 to 1970, coming courtesy today of a big time Joni Mitchell fan and a big friend of the community here at RGTC, Asmund. Thank you so much, my friend, for submitting this list, and it's the first of a planned 5-part series. We'll see as the months go on, but as of now, Osmond's planning on getting these Joni Mitchell lists to us. So Joni Mitchell fans, buckle up. It should be some good content coming up here. We actually have track-by-track reviews of Blue, of Ajira, and Court and Spark. If you want some more Joni Mitchell content here at the channel, and you can check that out after this if you want. But let's just get on into it here. Osmond said first of a 5-part series on Joni Mitchell spanning her whole career is going to be a top 10 list from each of the 5 periods of her career. The list are songs I personally prefer, Osmond says, not a best of list, but will of course include a few hits. So we're gonna harken it back to the early days of Ms. Joni Mitchell here. I know a couple of the tracks, but I'm excited to discover the rest of what is on this list, y'all. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Hit that big red subscribe button. We're making that push to 15K, man. Always appreciate your support, and if you'd like to support the channel in any way, you can check out the Patreon link, which will be down below. I'm gonna have lyrics up to all of these tunes, and the music due to copyright is going to be out of the YouTube video, but it'll be on Vimeo in full, and that link will be down below. I think with that housekeeping out of the way, let's just get a little introduction to the woman herself, Joni Mitchell, in case you don't know. Canadian, gosh, you Canadians just are able to churn out these singer-songwriters between Mitchell and Leonard Cohen and Neil Young and Ron Sexsmith. Really enjoyed him. Gordon Lightfoot. She draws from folk, pop, rock, classical, and jazz, and her songs often reflect on social and philosophical ideals, as well as her feelings about romance, womanhood, disillusionment, and joy. She's received many accolades, including 9 Grammys, and went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in '97. Has been hailed as one of the best songwriters of all time by many publications, and AllMusic stated, "When the dust settles, Joni Mitchell may stand as the most important and influential female recording artist of the late 20th century." And I think she's got a nice nice hold on that claim, in my opinion, man. But again, thanks, Osmond. Let's get this list rocking, dude. I'm ready to you know me on the channel, man. I love to kind of dive into great singer-songwriters and really dive into the lyricism of what we got here. And we're gonna start this off with Woodstock, coming in at number 10 from the Ladies of the Canyon record in 1970. Osmond noted, even though Joni never played at Woodstock, this song became the song that epitomized the whole experience of the festival. She was on her way to Woodstock, but had to make a TV appearance just before the festival started. 3 versions of the tune were released in the same year, 1970. We had the cover by CSNY, which appeared on their record Deja Vu, which I'm familiar with that version. I don't know if I've actually ever heard Joni's version, though. That one actually came out prior to Joni's version, and then the CSN version is the best known version in the US. So yeah, and Mitchell's version was the B-side to her single Big Yellow Taxi, which may or may not make an appearance later on this list. The 3rd version by the British band Matthews, Southern Comfort, became the best known version in the UK and was the highest charting version of the song, reaching the top of the UK pop charts in 1970. As the name implies, the lyrics refer to the Woodstock Music and Arts Festival of '69, telling the story of a concert goer on a trek to attend the festival. Mitchell, who was unable to actually perform at the festival herself due to scheduling conflicts, was inspired to write the song based on an account of the festival relayed to her by then-boyfriend Graham Nash. See, y'all, it all connects. The lyrics tell a story about a spiritual journey to the farm, the place of the festival, and make prominent use of sacred imagery, comparing the festival site with the Garden of Eden. There are also references to mutual assured destruction of the Cold War, contrasted with the peaceful intent of the festival goers. Well, I'm excited to go in on this, man. Let's get our Joni Mitchell on with Woodstock kicking us off. All right, I already got to start this off. Hitting the like on this, man. What a gorgeous tune. The atmosphere in particular, the arrangement with the keys, overarching the track was just a really well done on Joni's part, and the lyricism, that story just grips you in right away. Being a Christian, I liked kind of those analogies to the Garden of Eden, and just kind of that idealistic, Garden of Eden imagery that we had here. She even notes, I came upon a child of God who was walking along the road, and I asked him, where are you going? And then this guy goes in and says he's going down to the Yasker farm, which, of course, is where Woodstock was held. He's going to join a rock and roll band, camp, try and get his soul free. Then we go into those philosophical concepts of how we are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. I think, obviously a tumultuous time here in the late 60s, early 70s, coming off the Vietnam War, coming just off of the civil rights movement here in the States, and just a bunch of kind of turmoil brewing here. Cold War still kind of rocking, and I think that Joni kind of notes here that, hey, with this music and this this festival that's brought so many people together through the power of love and just good tunes, that, hey, man, we got to get ourselves back to that. And I think the imagery too of I dreamed I saw the bombers riding shotgun in the sky, and they were turning into butterflies above our nation. That is just powerful, where you take a machine of death and the bombers, and then turn into something beautiful like a butterfly, man. And then that she again kind of plays off, saying we're stardust, we're golden, caught in the devil's bargain. We got to get ourselves back to the garden. Just a brilliant imagery, brilliant lyricism on the part of Joni, and just set against a really solid arrangement musically, man, with the keys going in. I just loved this track, and that's a strong way to start this top 10 list, Osmond. I'll tell you that, man. And now we're gonna go to the record Clouds, and number 9 here we have Chelsea Morning. This was released the year prior in 1969. Osmond said, an up-tempo song about the beauty that can be found in the city. Joni is quoted in the March 2019 issue of Mojo saying that I wrote that in Philadelphia after some girls who worked in this club where I was playing found all of this colored slag glass in the alley. We collected a lot of it, built these glass mobiles with copper wire and coat hangers. I took mine back to New York and put them in my window on West 16th Street in the Chelsea district. The sun would hit the mobile and send these moving colors all around the room. As a young girl, I found that to be a thing of beauty. There's even a reference to the mobile in the song. It was a very young and lovely time before I had a record deal. I think it's a very sweet song, but I don't think of it as part of my best work. And prior to coming out on the Mitchell album, the song had been issued as a track on the debut album by Fairport Convention in 1968, as a single by Gloria Loring, and a single by Judy Collins as well earlier in 1969. Jennifer Warnes also recorded it for her debut album in 68, so it was kind of passed around before Joni was able to get it out. And she held off on recording the song until her second album, Clouds, partly because it had already been recorded by so many artists. Chelsea Clinton, daughter of Bill and Hillary, was named after this track, after the Clintons heard Judy Collins' version of the song playing during a stroll in the Chelsea neighborhood of London. So, man, we're getting a lot of nice little tidbits and Easter eggs in these tracks already. So let's hear this one. All right, Chelsea Morning definitely had that upbeat melody that reminded me actually a little bit of course, Big Yellow Taxi. And I think, yet again, Joni does such a good job of just painting a setting with her words, man. You can put yourself in this, like in her apartment in this time, talking about, oh, there was a song outside my window. You can just imagine the traffic going around. It came ringing up like Christmas bells and wrapping up like pipes and drums. Just so descriptive in her word choice that it really just helps put you right in that moment as the listener here. And with that acoustic going in the back, that was just a bit upbeat, just a bit of an uplifting track, if you will, and one that just is a bit light and sweet. And though it might not stand amongst her best tracks, or if you just go down and really analyze it, I think it's one of those songs, man, that you could put on it at any time and just lifts up your mood. I thought her vocal performance was quite solid. Again, as we saw in Woodstock, being able to stretch out those notes a little bit, and she's really able to hit those high notes in these early years, man. Not that she couldn't later on in her career, but you just have that youthful voice of Joni just coming through strong. And I dug this one, man. Yet another strong hit for me here. And now we're gonna go to Marcy. We go from Chelsea Morning now to Marcy, coming in at number 8 from Song to a Seagull from 1968. So we keep churning back the years a little bit. Asmund said, this is a song about living in New York City, but feeling lonely and missing the place you came from. She introduced the song like this in a concert in 1967. Quote, this is a song that I wrote in London, wanting very badly to write about red double-decker buses and taxi cabs with running boards and how to tip an old English cabbie, figuring out the percentage, and Hyde Park speakers and flower power a la San Francisco and London, and the Club UFO and the Rolling Stones. So I was in the middle of the Monopoly game in a London flat, and I just picked up a chance card that said go directly to Mayfair Place, do not pass go, do not collect £200, and Mayfair Place had a hotel on it. And so I was out of the game. So while I was out of the game, I said, well, this is a good time to write my song about London, England. Swings like a pendulum do and all that. And I sat down and began to write, and the girl whose flat I was staying in was named Marcy. And I met Marcy in Toronto, Ontario, and I stayed with her in London. And while I stayed with her in London, I found out that she lived next door to me in New York for 2 months, and we didn't even know it. Man, this is, come for and stay for the music, but these backstories alone are quite remarkable. She said, we met in Toronto and we didn't even know that either of us would ever be in New York. So even though this isn't specifically for my friend Marcy, I took poetic license and borrowed her name. And it's sort of a song for every girl who's had to come to New York, and a lot of fellas too, taken straight from Joni's mouth to you. Let's get Marcy coming up in here. All right, Marcy bringing it in at number 8. And this is a track that I enjoyed more as the song progressed and as we got more into the story of Marcy here. Joni, again, just kills some of these notes at the ends of the verses. Some of her most impressive, vocal performances, I guess, as we have her early in her career here, rather. And I especially enjoyed the little red and green motif that it was built upon throughout the song. We first start off as a bit more innocent in the candy store. Reds are sweet, greens are sours. And then we get introduced to this letter that's kind of the center of this track. There's no letter at her door. And as we go in, we figure out, okay, she's, you can tell she's lonely. Then we get to the next verse. Marcy's sorrow needs a man. Red is autumn, green is summer. So again, that red and green playing off. Again, really painting the picture here with quite a poetic track. And then we note, okay, summer's going on by. Now we got winter blowing in here, and again, there's no one here to take her. She's all alone. Then we get into that winter, again, to kind of paint that dreariness about her. Red is stopped, green's for going. Still no letters been delivered. Still the winter days unfold. And then we kind of hit the climax of the track at the end of this third verse, dream back to summer and hear how he tells her, wait for me. So the reason she's still around here waiting is because the dude told her, hey man, wait for me, I'm gonna be back. But he was a liar. He was proved to be a liar. And then she's out of here, and she didn't tell anybody. Red is angry, green is jealous. And then somebody said they heard her buy a one-way ticket and went west again. Her New York dreams didn't work out, as that happens unfortunately for so many. Really, really strong tune here, and probably my favorite overall story to this point. Now we're going to number 7 on this list. One of her most popular and famous hits here. We got Big Yellow Taxi, going back to Ladies of the Canyon record in 1970. Asmund said a very early environmental protection song, and in our research, written by Joni in 1970, it was a big hit in Canada as well as Australia and the UK. It only reached 67 here in the States, but was later a bigger hit a few years later after she released a live version. There's also been covers recorded by Neighborhood, Bob Dylan, and the Counting Crows, which was probably the first version I heard, the Counting Crows version. In 96, Mitchell said that this track, quote, I wrote Big Yellow Taxi on my first trip to Hawaii. I took a taxi to the hotel, and when I woke up the next morning, I threw back the curtains, saw these beautiful green mountains in the distance. Then I looked down, and there was a parking lot as far as the eye could see, and it broke my heart. This blight on paradise. That's when I sat down and wrote the song. And in the song's final verse, the political gives way to the personal. She recounts the departure of her old man in the Big Yellow Taxi, which may refer to the old Metro Toronto police patrol cars, which until 86 were painted yellow. Just a little tidbit to throw in there as we keep in mind as we listen to this short and sweet track coming in at number 7. All right, Big Yellow Taxi, obviously an iconic track, and though maybe its story isn't as good as Woodstock or Marcy, for instance, this is one where you can tell Joni is just even though it's about a serious subject matter with the environment, she's having fun, as you can tell, in the last 5 seconds, where she kind of changes her voice a little bit and, starts laughing in the studio. And just such a catchy, upbeat tune with, some of, I think, Joni's more youthful, vocal performances here. And just such a sweet vocal performance as well in that chorus. Don't it always seem to go? I ain't trying to hit these high notes like Joni. I know my lane, but it's one that you just want to start singing right away, and with the whole shoo bop 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 in the background, it again just gives it that sense of almost innocence and just a pure track, man. And talking, of course, you got the serious nature about the saving the trees, talking about the farmer putting the chemical DDT away, painting those images up for us to conjure up in our minds. And I'm curious what y'all think about the late last night I heard the screen door slam and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. Do you think it's indeed the Toronto police cars taking away the old man, or is the old man just going away in the big yellow taxi? I'm thinking he's just going away, but who knows? That's just how I've always interpreted the song. But just a classic Joni tune here, man, that is, again, one that I think you could play kind of at any time and just kind of put a smile on your face, even with the, more serious bent that she has with the track. We're going to number 6 now. We're going to stay with Ladies of the Canyon and go to For Free here. Asmund said, For Free tells the story of a New York City street musician who impressed Joni with his skills on the clarinet. Let's go, man. Shout out to the clarinet players. Let's see what we got here. All right, For Free, bringing it in here at number 6. And, yet again, man, what a great story that is told here. Showing that contrast between those that are just struggling at the bottom, trying to make it, man. You got this guy playing a mean clarinet, according to Joni here, at the corner of the street. She's waiting to cross it, waiting for, waiting for that "Don't Walk" to turn to "Walk." And I enjoyed the honesty by Joni Hill here, just saying, now me, I play for fortunes. I got that black limousine. I got the people escorting me. And I'll play if you have the money or if you're a friend to me. But the one-man band by the quick lunch stand, he was playing real good for free. And it ends the song on a bit of a downer, so to speak, but it's real. And I like how Joni did that. She said nobody stopped to hear him, though he played so sweet and high. They knew he had never been on their TV, so hey, they ain't gonna stop, man. Even if you're really good, it's like any avenue of life, whether in music, film, anything in the arts. Even if you're better than some people that are at the top, if you don't have that platform and aren't put up and get your break, it's really tough to break on through, so to speak. Joni said she was going to go maybe give him some harmony, but then the signal changed, and it was time for her to walk on by and kind of leave him behind, so to speak. And then we had the clarinet actually ended at the end. Yet again, a just wonderful story told. I think that Joni's vocals were again on point, and I quite enjoyed the arrangement on this track, man. And it just get you thinking about the arts. And I remember seeing this video one time where they got like a world-class violin player to play in some train station on they've not that anyone would really know him, they kind of had him in a hat and disguised a little bit, just playing these gorgeous arrangements, and hardly anybody stopped. So it just kind of shows how we are as humans, man, busy in our day-to-day lives. Sometimes we don't stop to hear the beauty in the music. But solid track there. Now we're halfway through the list, y'all, and we still got five more bangers coming up here, man. And number 5, we got that song About the Midway from Clouds here. And Asmund says this song is written as Joni's breakup song when she broke up with David Crosby. Here's some info from a CSNY biography that David Brown shared in his book. Quote, as the relationship crumbled, Crosby reportedly took up an old girlfriend. When Mitchell found out, she made her disappointment known to Crosby and others at a party at the Monkey Peter Tork's house in the one way she knew best. Joni was very angry and said, I've got a new song, said Crosby. It was then when Mitchell played that song About the Midway, which had references to a man's sky-high harmonies and the way she had caught him cheating on her more than once. Come on, David, come on. There was no question about the subject of the song. It was a very Goodbye David song, added Crosby. She sang it while looking right at me like, did you get it? I'm really mad at you. And then she sang it again just to make sure. Gosh, the more I hear about Joni, the more I love this woman, man. Let's get into that song About the Midway. All right, the song About the Midway, and Joni just starts the fire off right away. It's set against again just a pretty acoustic melody and backdrop there, and again just talking about how much Crosby stood out, but really early in that first verse, you were playing like a devil wearing wings, painting him up kind of as a wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak. You were looking so grand wearing wings. Do you tape them to your shoulders just to sing? And paints him as like an eagle doing your hunting from the sky. Then kind of gets into where she actually caught him cheating, and again kind of continues into a gambling metaphor that continues throughout the rest of the song. She says you were betting on some lover, you were shaking up the dice, and I thought I saw you cheating once or twice. And I heard your bid once or twice. Were you wondering, was the gamble worth the price? She later goes on and says, notes that he's kind of been hiding away, that she's still at these races with the ticket stubs and her blues, and she's kind of done. She's done with him, and she makes that abundantly clear. And I thought the way, though, it ended on a bit of a bittersweet note with the whole, because I'm midway down the midway, slowing down, and her voice got a little more somber on that last verse as well. Again, just another strong tune. I would suggest if you're going out with somebody as talented as Joni Mitchell, who can write a song like this, man, that you best not make her angry, and you best treat her right, unlike Mr. Crosby. So now, y'all, we're going to Number 4 on this list, gonna keep it going with Cactus Tree here off of a song To a Seagull. Asmund said the last song from her debut tells the story of a woman trying to stay free and not being bound up by men in her life. Wow, Cactus Tree. Yet again, I'm a broken record, but yeah, just another beautiful track, a phenomenal vocal performance that so heartfelt by Joni on this one. And each verse introduces us to another man that she has crossed paths with. We get the first man who's been out sailing in a decade full of dreams, treating her so well. And then each verse ends while she was busy being free. You know, Joni wasn't tied down by these dudes, man. And then we get the next guy who's climbed a mountain, calling out her name. He hopes her heart can hear 3,000 miles. I thought just that was well about how these guys continue to reach out to her, but you know, she's just going a different direction in life. And third verse, we got the guy who's been writing her letters. He has asked her of her travels since the day they said goodbye. He writes, "Wish you were beside me. We can make it if we try." He says he will find it hard to shake her from his memory, and she's so busy being free. And then the fourth verse, we get, you know, there's a guy who's thinking of her, who sometimes calls, who writes her letters. She's brought them to her senses, and now she rallies her defenses, for she fears that one will ask her for eternity. So I'm thinking, you know, obviously marriage, and she's so busy being free. So she recognizes that sense, maybe I'm a little bit scared to fully commit to somebody, and I'm just enjoying, you know, going out here being free, doing my own thing, living my life, chasing my dreams. And you know, just sometimes a relationship gets in the way with that. We don't like to say that. We like to hold up love as some ultimate thing, but sometimes, man, people need to go discover life for themselves before they're ready for that. And I think that Joni did a great job doing that, and she notes that her heart is full and hollow. And then we get the Cactus Tree line, like a cactus tree, while she's so busy being free. Yet another just tune that I just really quite an enthralling story in here, man. So got to give the heart to that as well. And now we're up in the top 3, ladies and gentlemen. We have Conversation here, going back to Ladies of the Canyon up next. Asmund says, a song about a love triangle. It is not among her better known songs, but I have always liked this song a lot personally. Let's see if we do. Conversation, bringing it at number 3 here, and again, just a totally unique story here that Joni was coming up with. I like the creative nature of it. A lot of times when you hear songs about a love triangle, it's kind of from a guy's perspective. So hearing it from the woman's perspective is pretty tight. You have this dude that's caught up in a relationship that's he's not fully in with. So what, he comes to Joni for that conversation, and she knows at the end there, I comfort him sometimes, comfort and consultation. He knows what he'll find, and you know, they kind of got to keep the love hidden, of course. And she kind of goes through there that they started off, you know, just kind of talking, sharing soda, and he says she keeps him guessing, but I know she keeps him down. That was maybe my favorite little couplet up here. And notes that tomorrow he will come to me and he'll speak his sorrows endlessly, and he'll ask me why. Why can't I leave her? And then at the end, man, you had the flutes coming in just when you thought the song was ending. We ramped it up another notch. Joni hits the do, 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 do. We had the saxophone, and just I thought that the ending was just a nice little just musical burst in there. And yet again, just a very lovely melody here that we had on the acoustic, and thought that her performance kind of reflected just how a woman would feel there, being that second woman in this little love triangle, knowing that she should be number 1. And we're gonna go now, y'all. We're gonna stay ladies on the Canyon. What's gonna be number 2? What's a great track on this that hasn't been on the list yet? Well, we have the Circle Game coming in at number 2. Osmond noted it's a song about growing old and seeing your dreams change. It was written as a response to Neil Young's Sugar Mountain. She introduced the song like this in New York in 1968, quote, "This is a song that's been recorded by a couple of friends of mine, so maybe you know it a little better than the other ones. And if you do, if you know the chorus, just sing along, because it's a chorus about people and growing old and growing young and carousels and painted ponies and the weather and the Buffalo Springfield. I wrote it for a friend of mine named Neil Young, who at the time that I knew him was a Canadian ex-rock and roll type turned folkie from Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is just about as bad as a Saskatchewan, I guess. Anyway, he just turned 20 and was very, very depressed because he said, all my life I've been looking forward to being an adult. Everything that I wanted to do that they kept saying, well, wait, kid, wait till you're older. And suddenly here I am and I'm older and I can do just about all those things except I can't go into the pubs till next year. But I can do just about anything I want to. And you know what? I want to go out and play skipping rope and play jacks and all that stuff that I missed and left behind." Joni said he was really depressed, so I wrote a song for him. Man, love Neil Young here. So much content and reviews of him up as well. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what Joni does with this. The circle game. You already know. Gotta hit the like on that, man. The whole concept of talking about life as a game, has been around, but I like that concept of the circle game, and in that chorus and the seasons, you get that like kind of almost childlike singing along song. They go round and round, the painted ponies go up and down. Like, we all know what a carousel is, man. I can, you just picture that and. The carousel of time. So again, just kind of blending the childlike imagery with these heady concepts of time and growing older and even looking forward to death in a sense. Hey, we can't return. We can only look behind from where we came. Once that time is done, we've lived what we lived, man, and we can only learn from it and look to dream new dreams in the future. And the way that she progresses the child's life in the verses was just expertly done. We have in the first verse a really young kid caught a dragonfly, fearful when the sky was full of thunder and tearful at the falling of a star. Just again, this song is one that makes you nostalgic and contemplative about just your past and where you are in life and what you've done and what you maybe got ahead. Then the child moved 10 times around the season, so now he's 10. Words like "when you're older" must appease him and promises to someday make his dreams. And then he's now 16. He's got the car wheels going, and they tell him, "Take your time. It won't be long now till you drag your feet to slow the circles down." Probably my favorite line in here. And then he's 20, and some of his dreams have lost a little bit of their pizzazz, so to speak, and there will be new dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty before the last revolving year is through. And that's the thing, right? We never know when we're on our last revolution through, so that's why you just gotta kind of live every day like it's your last, so to speak, and just enjoy life while you're here, man. And wow, I thought Joni killed it on that, man. That's gonna be tough to not be in my favorite tracks as we near the end here. And drum roll, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the number one tune on Asmund's list here from Joni Mitchell, 68 to 70. It's a Clouds track, and it's Both Sides Now. Coming in at number one, Asmund said the song is about seeing different aspects of life from both sides, and that the outlook will give you different perspectives on what you experience in life. Written by Joni, but first recorded yet again by Judy Collins. It appeared on the U.S. singles chart during the fall of 68. The next year it was included on Mitchell's album Clouds, which was named after a lyric from this track. It's since been recorded by dozens of artists, including the great Frank Sinatra, Willie Nelson, Gang of Youths, Herbie Hancock, and even Mitchell re-recorded it in 2000 with an orchestral arrangement. It's in the Rolling Stone Top 500 Songs of All Time. And she said that I was reading Saul Bellows' Henderson the Rain King on a plane. And early in the book, Henderson the Rain King is also up in a plane. He is on his way to Africa, and he looks down and sees these clouds. I put down the book, looked out the window, and saw clouds too. And I immediately started writing the songs. I had no idea that the song would become as popular as it did. This is such a popular tune. I mean, I possibly have heard it, but it's not ringing a bell right off the gate. But let's get into this track, y'all, and then at the end, I'll give my favorite tracks and just kind of overall thoughts. Number one on this list, Both Sides Now. Just again, just what an intelligent tune here, and the way that Joni's able to write about the two sides of things was just so intelligently done, and yet in a way that was accessible and still had that sense of almost catchiness in the sense, and just the way we started off, almost like in a good way. I'm looking up at the clouds, see the ice cream castles, the feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but then on the flip side, they're blocking out the sun, the rain and the snow on everyone. But I had so many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. And then she says, I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds, illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. And she keeps that chorus structure in whenever she talks about love and the next couple verses, and then life at the end, just going in, saying she's seen it from both sides. And at the end of the day, though, she recognizes whether it's clouds or love or life, she really doesn't know those subjects at all. And I think that just shows there's a bit of maturity and even wisdom in knowing that maybe you don't have all the answers here, and you almost kind of raise your eyebrows at people who say they do know love or life or all that there is to it, man. I liked that she still kind of kept a little hope there as well, saying how her old friends are saying that she's changed a little bit. Well, something's lost, but something's gained, and living every day. Just again, kind of continuing that concept that we had a little bit on the circle game of how you keep living life. You don't know what's gonna happen, man. And I just thought again, quite a sweet vocal performance, as we had on most of these tracks here, man. And just the songwriting is just at another level. So great job here at number one, man. And then I guess it'll take me to the tough task of my favorite tunes. I got to go The Circle Game. It's probably my favorite tune on here, which Asmund had at number two. I got to show some love as well to For Free. I thought that was a very well put song that, again, just get you thinking about just those who make it in the arts and those who don't, and just the value we place on that. I also really dug Cactus Tree. I thought that was impressive. That was Asmund's number four up in there. And just the way that story progressed. Woodstock, got to go love to that at the very, very beginning. And of course, Big Yellow Taxi for a nice, catchy, short and sweet tune, man, that again, just kind of has some good vibes. Overall thoughts on this list, Asmund, I thought you did a great job. There's not a song on here that I didn't like. As somebody who enjoys diving into lyrics of great songwriters, I mean, Joni's near the top of that list for me. So it was fun to revisit just the couple tracks that I did know on here, and discover a bunch of great tunes. I need to go and listen to Ladies of the Canyon later tonight, as we spun about half of the record just in this awesome list here. And I think too, Joni's vocals was it had that youthful tone to it in here. The arrangements were mostly just either a piano or acoustic guitar driven, which was fine, man, because the highlight here was the storytelling that Joni was going, and she was able to top it off with some really pleasant melodies on top of that, man. And we're off to some timeless music here. So thanks to Asmund. Be sure to give him some love in the comments below. Then let me know some of your other favorites on the list from 68 to 70 from the great Joni Mitchell. Be sure to stick around, hit that subscribe button as well, so you don't miss out in the coming months as we go through this series, and Asmund cooks up some more list for us. But I guess that'll about cover it for me today, y'all. Really enjoyable to just dive into the great work of Joni Mitchell. And thank you again to Asmund. Until next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Happy listening. And I'll see you next time.